So in this video, I'm going to cover the while loop. So in Python and in programming, usually the while loop is a loop that is structured as follows. It has the while, and then it has a condition. In this case, we're going to create a condition variable, a variable named condition, and we're going to assign it true. And then we're going to say while condition equals true, right? It's implied. We want to print looped, but then in here, so in a while loop, the condition must be modified in the code block. This is the code block right here, starting from print. Any statement in the while loop is a code block. So then we're just going to say condition is false. So in the code block, the condition has to be changed for the loop to stop executing. So we're going to go ahead and run this simple example. And as you can see, the loop ran one time. So let's walk through this. Condition equals true. While loop executes as follows. While condition is true, is it true? Yes. Print looped, then we change condition to false, comes back around here, and then it checks again. While condition is true, is it true? No, it's not true. So then the program completes execution and the loop is not executed again. So loops can be used to eliminate redundant code. So code that is repetitious, we can eliminate with a while loop. But let's see a loop. Let's use a while loop to create a solution for something a little more useful than just to show you the syntax and how a loop works. So for example, if we want to prompt a user for grades, as long as the user says yes, then we want to continue capturing grades from the user, and then we want to print the grades and the average. So how will we do that? Well, first of all, with a while loop, we know we need a condition. So we're going to assume that the user is going to give us at least one grade. So we need a grade total. We're going to set it to 0. We need a grade count. I'm going to set it to 0. And then we'll go ahead and do a lines variable. So the lines variable, we're going to use it here for convenience. There's other better ways of doing what we're going to do, but since this is a beginner course and this is really the only way at this time that we can create output, we will use the lines variable to put strings together and print it out after the loop has executed and after we do some calculations. So if we keep on going here, so we say while keep going equals yes, then we want to get a grade from the user. So here we're going to get some input from the user and we're going to prompt the user to enter grade. So we can say enter grade, and here we can go ahead and, should we or not? no, let's make this simple. So we want to enter grade, and then what we want to do is sum it into a variable that is named grade total, and we're going to use the shortcut plus equals grade. So what that does is it's going to sum grade into grade total, and then we're going to do the same for grade count. But for grade count, we're going to use it as a counter of how many actual grades the user gave us. So for now, we're going to not use the lines variable for now, and we're going to go ahead and do average of grade total divided by grade count, and then we're just going to print it. We're not going to format it. We're interested in knowing how a while loop works. So we go ahead and save it, and we're going to run it. So we're going to enter a grade 95, and then a grade 90, and then a grade 80, and it's going to keep on asking us for a grade because we're not asking the user if they want to keep on going. So the loop is going to be infinite. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to ask the user again. We're going to ask them keep going equals input, enter another grade, yes or no. And for now, we're not going to worry about. So as long as the user does not enter yes, theoretically, right, then it's going to exit. I'll show you how to fix it in a little bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close this and open a brand new shell. One other thing to keep notice is notice how this indentation is the same. What this means is that all of these statements, these 4 statements right here, are part of the while loop code block. So these statements together make a code block. That's required. We have to have the indentation like that, otherwise it's not going to work for us. It's going to error out. So then we enter a grade and enter another grade, yes. I'm going to enter 90, enter another grade, yes. 80, enter another grade, no. So then it prints the average for us, 88.3. And that's what we wanted. So we keep on looping as long as we enter y. If we enter something other than y, then it's going to finish. So we can put enter y to continue. Well, for now we're just gonna end. That's fine for now. So what if we want to also print a table of the grades that the user gave us? And then we also want to print the course that the user gave us. So what we're going to do, well, we don't need that right here. We're going to, before we prompt the user for a grade, we're going to prompt them for course. So we're going to say input, that means give me some data from the keyboard. This is what the user is going to see, enter course name. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the lines variable to capture the course. We're going to put this together with a tab, and then we're going to put it together, and we're going to say the string of grade, and then we're going to tell Python to print out a new line. So \n is new line, \t is a tab. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and print the lines. So notice what's going to happen. Each loop, we're going to capture the course right here, a tab, and the grade, and then we're going to create a new line. So for each loop, we're going to have a line, and then after we process the average, we're going to print the lines, and then we're going to print the average. We're not worried right now about formatting the table in a nice, pretty way. What we're interested in is we want to know how a while loop works, and what we're doing here is we're keep running, summing a running total, another running total, and then we're putting strings together. So lines is going to put a line for each loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the same grades that we did before, but this time we're going to enter a course name. So let's run it, and it's asking us for a course name. We're going to say English 1300. My grade was a 95. Enter another grade, yes. Math 2300. My grade is 90. One more grade, yes. Oops, so I did a capital Y. So once I did a capital Y, it does not equal to the lowercase y. So our program exited. So I see a problem here that we're going to fix, and I overlooked it. So we're going to have to do, what is wrong with this keyboard? So we're going to do lines. What's wrong? Lines, I forgot, plus equals to make sure that we keep each line, because what we did here is we were overriding the lines, as we see, since you see here, if you see here English 1300 95, but we overrode it because we were just setting lines equal to the current entry that the user provided us. But what we want to do is we want to do plus equals so that we can put them together, concatenate them together, or stitch them together. I'm going to start a new shell, and then we run it. So course name English 1300, grade 95, yes. Math 2300, 90, one more, yes. COSC 1336, grade. What happened here? My keyboard is acting up. 80. It's gonna ask us again, and we're gonna say no more. So as you can see, we were tabulating by collecting lines, and then we print out the average. Now we would not do this in a real world solution, but this is just an example, and what we're interested in showing is that we can use a while loop to sum values and to stitch strings together. We could also do a print here, and we could do course \t and grades, and then we could print that. So course 1300, grade 95, enter another one, yes. COSC 1336, grade 90, one more, yes. Math 1300, grade 80, another one, no. And there you can see I mean, we can play around and fix this table, but my main purpose here is to show you that you can create a loop that does numbers summing for us, and then we keep putting together what the user provided us, and then we can print out the table of what the user provided us. I want to get back to this right here briefly. So if we want to make sure that the user enters a yes or a no, then we use Boolean logic for that. And we do what's called validation with a loop. So we'll do while keep going not equals yes, and my keyboard, I don't know what's wrong with it, and keep going not equals, and print invalid should be y or n, and I don't know what's wrong with my keyboard. And then we say keep going equals enter another input, enter another grade, yes or no. So now what we're doing here is we're forcing the user to either enter a y or an n. If they don't do that, then we're just going to keep on asking them again, and we're going to tell them invalid entry should be y or n. And once it's going to stay here as long as the user doesn't enter a y or an n. Once they enter a y or an n, it's going to come out and it's going to check if it's y or n. And if it's y, it's going to continue. If not, it's not going to continue. So let's check this to make sure that it's going to work. Enter course name, English 1300, enter grade 95, entry, so enter another one, yes, enter course name, right? So that's good. Math 1300, 90, enter another grade, right? So it's prompting us that it needs a y or an n, and that's what we want. So then we do enter another grade, yes, and then we do COSC 1336, and then we exit. So this example shows us how to use a for loop to sum numbers, to put strings together, to validate data with what? With Boolean logic, and Boolean logic over here. So what we're saying here is if it's not y or if it's not n, then you're not in my range. That's an invalid entry. Enter another grade, yes or no. And we saw that it works properly, does the average, and outputs our data. That's all I wanted to cover for this while loop example. Thank you.